Non-Brits, what is your favorite British term? Numpty is a favorite of mine. What a refreshing way to refer to someone as stupid. Muppet. I love the words bellend, wanker and bollocks. I use them daily at work, confuses the F out of Canadians. There's a van that I often see in Vancouver that has Power Wanker written at the side of it with a picture of Popeye flexing his guns. Edit, it actually says Wanking Champion, not Power Wanker as mentioned above. Still, odd choice of words if you ask me. Rubbish. Many Americans don't know what a bin is either. They really don't. Piss off. You what? M8. Okay, we were just asking. Steady on. That's one of my favorite phrases in Wallace and Grommet when Wallace says to Grommet, steady on. Steady on there, lad, we'll get to that cheese moon, crescent moon. I used to have a neighbor who was from Sheffield. He had a thick Yorkshire accent, and was an absolute riot in conversation. Some of my favorites that he used regularly were. Thanks to him, I also acquired an addiction to Henderson's relish. Pop round. Sarnie. Wheelie bin. Shag stain. Henderson's relish is the absolute dog's bollocks of Yorkshire food. You guys don't pop round. That's a shame, it's such a nice phrase. I grew up down the road from Sheffield, Bradford. I used to get teased for sounding posh at school. Now I've moved down south, I get teased for my broad Yorkshire accent and local slang. My favorite UK word isn't so much a word, as a thing that has many words. Order yourself a chip buddy, well, depending on where you are it'll be a buddy, bap, barn, roll, piece, cob, muffin, or tea cake. Travel 40 miles down the road and you'll find a chippy calling it something different. A popular variant is wank stain. Don't those Yorkshians also say something like put wood in ole when they ask someone to close the door? I might be wrong here. Ending a sentence with yeah? To make it a question, like call me later, yeah? I don't know why, but I like when I hear people do it. I never knew this was just a British thing. I just know I never hear it in America. American here, but have a lot of friends from the UK given my past 15 years of online gaming. I incorporated a lot of weird UK speech mannerisms into the way I speak to my friends that some of them picked up on it. I add yeah as a question at the end of my sentences. I frequently use F me, Christ alive, and allow that in my vocabulary. It's funny hearing my American friends just propagate that within their social groups, that when I meet friends of friends, I hear them saying the same things. Also, Christ on a bike is a good one. Or F a duck. Nap. I will never call it anything but that again. I still prefer door handle. I feel sorry for the knobs you handle. I'd appreciate it if you could stop touching my knob. Don't manhandle my manhandle. Yay. It is the best term for butter. How much even is a pat? Chuffed to bits, it means you're happy or pleased with something, and also, pants, for example, that tower is a bit pants, meaning it's bland/boring/bad lol. What are you on about? Instead of what the hell do you mean? F off, instead of you're full of crap. Like, last night I slept with 4 women. Friend's reaction, F off, you didn't. Oh F off Rebecca, he did not say that. And similarly, F me as an exclamation like Jesus Christ rather than a request. A lot of non-Brits have picked up that one and I'm 100% in favor of it. The Russian version would be F us. Same thing, just slightly more communist. And the off of F off is elongated for maximum emphasis of disbelief. At least where I live. You might like did you F as an expression of incredulity, or did I F in a similar vein? Wait, so did you go on a second date after she crap in your car? Did I block that nutter soon as I dropped her home? Also, F off as an intensifier, F off massive etc. Yeah, like a F off chocolate bar is a massive chocolate bar. If you really want to focus on how big it is, you just add all of them up rather than replace the adjectives. So great big, massive, F off chocolate bar. I say, what are you on about all the time lol, didn't realize it was British. The fact that bollocks means a bad thing, unless it's a dog's bollocks then it's a great thing. Just like how something can be crap or the crap and is completely opposite. I grew up in Boston and when I went to college my friends from elsewhere found it strange that I would say someone was a good crap when describing them in a complimentary way. Bollocks can be good if preceded by the that film was the bollocks. Also, the best thing about being a British person around Americans is making up absurd aphorisms and expressions, and then being like, oh, they don't say that where you're from. As my dear old mum used to say, a buttered crumpet is worth 2 bags of carrots to a hungry badger. What? Oh, it's a British thing. Oh, I love are you taking the piss? Means, are you joking? Are you being serious? Can also mean you're insulting someone. For example, if he keeps taking the piss out of Dave, he's going to batter him. So when you ask if someone's taking the piss, you're sort of asking if they are having a joke at your expense. Same goes with you having a laugh or having me on. Any other Brits just loving these comments? I'm seriously having a British existential crisis. I never realized how weird we must sound. Like how the F are we supposed to explain chuffed to bits or Bob's your uncle, or as you do, I never thought we'd have to explain it. Our parents said this baffling crap and we just copied thinking it was normal. Oh F, why do we sound so weird from an outside perspective? If my 4 days on Duolingo have taught me anything, it's that the entire concept of language is arbitrary. The sounds have to be what they are because those are the sounds our mouths can make. Everything beyond that is context and doesn't have to be anything. And my 4 days have taught me something, so I must be right about the other thing. Yo quiero leche sin sal. Random, but I vastly prefer car park to parking lot. The latter sounds dreary and the former sounds like I'm leaving my car to play a few hours while I run errands. What are you doing in the car park? Parking cars. What else does one do in a car park? Some people go dogging. Then what do they do in a dog park? Heroin. When a Brit calls you love. I'm British and my favorite is when someone from the West Country says love all right my love. They also say my lover. It's quite endearing. They also call sliders and nowhere else in the country does that. Muppet. I've been using this a lot lately at my hospital job. For example, the patient didn't answer my question and kept me standing there like a muppet. You fucking muppet. Aside from the classic mate, I also like cheeky and chuffed to bits. I just say, proper chuffed. Think it's a regional thing. I personally have started to use what's all this then? Done and dusted and what are you on about? Into my daily lexicon. Job's a good un. As a Brit I had no clue those phrases were anything particular to England. Bob's your uncle. Gobsmacked. Fanny's your aunt. In the States, fanny is a woman's posterior. In Britain, it's the other side. Or the more formal Robert's your mother's brother. Fortnight. Such a great and useful term. I said this to an American once a few years ago. I stated I would have the document to him in a fortnight and he thought it was a typo of for tonight, then very annoyed when said document didn't appear. It never even occurred to me before then that it wouldn't be understood. I have an Australian boss who I can usually understand quite well even when he slips into UK/Aus English. I knew fortnight was a length of time but I did have to look it up. Is this seriously not used in America? Would people just think it was weird or would they not understand it? It's not used. People just say 2 weeks. So the game Fortnite isn't a pun to Americans? What a strange world we live in. The game is called 2 Weeks in America. I am so amazed. You'll be telling me that you don't say overmorrow or yesterday next. Late wife was a Brit. My favorite is rubber, eraser. At a Sunday school class my wife asked the guy next to her to pass her the rubber. Some others are trolley, shopping cart, car park, parking lot, stop your whingin', stop complaining, slag, slut, spunk, cum. Cockney rhyming slang, which is fun but nearly impossible for Americans to understand, myself included. Early freshman year in the dorm, the kid from England asked my suitmate if he had a rubber he could borrow and was quite confused when he was given a condom. When visiting family in Canada, we made up a drinking game where I'd say some Cockney rhyming slang and they'd try and guess what it meant. We all got crap-faced. I worked with an English guy, and for a while, our team had a miserable manager. He kept trying to ingratiate himself to us and would suggest a little team building by going to the bar after work. We would sometimes go out for drinks after work, but just didn't want it ruined listening to him, so we'd make excuses about why we needed to head straight home and would try to plan it without him knowing. We were talking about rhyming slang one day when he wasn't around, and near and far for bar came up. After that, if he was around us at the end of the shift, the English guy would ask, "Are we near to leaving?" Which became the code for asking if we were meeting at the pub without the manager knowing. It came in quite handy. Funny thing is, this is super close to the actual origin of Cockney rhyming slang. People used it to talk to each other about shady things without the police understanding, which is why there's so many terms for different denominations of money. I went to school with an American girl whose mom was very concerned when, aged 9, she was asked to bring a rubber to school in her pencil case. You included everything, including the kitchen sink, mate. Wanker. Edit. When I typed wanker this morning, I never imagined it would become my most upvoted comment ever. I learned that studying in Australia. I used it affectionately with my then boyfriend. He was mighty offended. I thought it was the equivalent of "you silly goofball." It was not. Yes, Brit, here it means, if you didn't know, supreme butthole. Daddy, what's a wanker? Well, son, it's a man that likes to be alone with his thoughts. Classic playground gag: hook a finger in the sides of the mouth, pull apart, and try saying, "My dad is a banker. And he banks all day." As a Brit, I love that it got snuck into a lot of US TV shows that it shouldn't have, because nobody really knew what it meant outside of the UK. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was masterful at it. They always had Spike calling somebody a wanker, on a show that kids could watch. Wanker. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.